In the darkness of the void, brightly shines a single flame, as the goddess, but a maiden, spawns the snowdrop in her name. The goddess, now the star-child, fulfilling Eostra's law, rouses nature to her task with misted fling of golden spore. The gates of Avatar stand open, as is poured upon the earth libation from the Virgin for revival and rebirth. Uranus in his airy kingdom, his major planets 7, inventive, bold, with changing helm, gives freedom from the heaven. And Sirius, guardian of the light, O guiding star of seer and sage, foretells that we redeem ourselves within the new Aquarian age. So mote it be. The rite of Aquarius. While Capricornus looks to the past, Aquarius encompasses the future and represents extension. It is the sign of starry space, and the new age will force us to free ourselves in more ways than one. Already we are reaching for the stars and have earned the right to move into stellar space and become children of the stars. Our oldest dream of traveling to the moon is already achieved, and in future times the moon will be colonized, with many souls being reborn upon that orb in a suitably contrived atmosphere. Visiting and documenting Earth's neighboring planets will be commonplace as we travel deeper into the universe. Extension will also occur on inner levels. Telepathy, clairvoyance, and ESP will be accepted as natural abilities, moving towards super-consciousness. With all this as the norm, psychic awareness will be treated in a rational manner and recognized for what it is, a most important part of the human condition. Sit back in your chair and relax your body. Your mind is very alert as you gaze at the aura of the candle flame. Close your eyes and prepare to visualize a new journey. You are resting comfortably on solid ground. Around you the grass is long and grows in waving sheaves, and the only sounds are the piping of small birds and the droning of an occasional bee as it draws sweetness from the clover. There is no reason to move at the moment, so you merely rest on Mother Earth and absorb the peaceful atmosphere. Presently, you roll over and discover that you are in the center of a stone circle. The great grey fingers stand out against a clear sky in which the sun moves towards the distant horizon. You attempt to count the monoliths, but find it difficult, so you concentrate upon their individual shapes. All are roughly the same height, and as you feel an urge to touch them, you stand up and walk across the circle. It is a large ring and is situated in softly undulating pasture, which stretches as far as the eye can reach. Feeling the surfaces of the stones, you sense that they are extremely friendly. Each one exudes an aura of well-being that intoxicates you and sends you off into gales of laughter without quite knowing why. Your hands move lovingly over the stones as you run and skip among them. Many are covered in moss and lichen, the subdued tones of green and gold blending delicately with the uniform greyness. Quite out of breath, you sit down again to recover, and notice a great avenue of stones leading from the circle and marching away into the distance. Perhaps this is the way you should go. Perhaps. But you are loath to leave the circle. You look at all the stones and realize that they are pointing up to the heavens. They are indicating the starry sky. The sun has almost set, and the stars show brilliantly now that their rival has left the stage. This sunset is one of the most exquisite you have ever witnessed. The colours are extremely vivid and change from the deepest shade of rose through to lilac, and from bright orange to the palest yellow in no time at all. It is a display worthy of the mystical realms, and a consummation of being in all its glory. Beauty is present, whether in or out of incarnation. You observe nature entranced. Soon, the vast orange disk of a full moon begins to rise above the edge of the horizon. The sight fills you with a deep longing, for what you do not know. An unfulfilled need, perhaps, to be at one with nature, to be absorbed into this splendor. This longing is followed by a feeling of serenity as your soul is fed at the well of life. The moon rises steadily and fills the night with a golden radiance. It hangs over the stones, illuminating and benevolent. One upright seems to sway in ecstatic glee. But surely this is lunar enchantment? At this sublime moment, a thick white mist begins to gather and curl round the bases of the dark sentinels. Slowly, slowly it coils like a great white serpent, rising ever higher until only the tops of the pillars show above the pearly white vapour. It undulates and moves as if alive, covering the monoliths in billowing dresses of ethereal substance. You can only stare, fascinated. Now the stone fingers have completely vanished, and what was once a stone circle has become a writhing column of vapour. As you watch, the mist runs out along the ground until a new circle of whiteness is formed near the earth. The manifestation is repeated at the tops of the columns. Then the two circles start to ripple in small waves, creating the glyph of Aquarius. The twin streams of mystical magnetic fluid surround you in waves of power. The transformation is accompanied by a humming sound as of a generator. The earth beneath your feet starts to vibrate, trembling in sympathy and anticipation. It almost seems as if the circle of mist is about to lift off like a spacecraft. But there is no fear in your soul, merely a yearning for new knowledge on the path. Then the noise abates. The earth quietens once more, and from out of the mist comes shadowy figures who move forward to greet you. With smiling faces and outstretched arms, they approach until you are surrounded by an eager throng. In a variety of dress, they come from every part of the world, each one representing a race or culture. And although they speak in many diverse tongues, the language barrier is transcended through the dynamic double waves of power. The magic circle of Aquarius unites all in a universal brotherhood. A Chinese lady with painted face and a Mexican man with flowing moustaches both vie for your attention. A fur-clad Eskimo chatters avidly to a graceful Indian girl, while an Aborigine and a kilted Scotsman converse earnestly together. Yet, despite this social intercourse between the peoples of the world, it is obvious that something more mysterious is happening at this meeting. The electromagnetic influences of Aquarius are being brought to bear here. The minds and souls of all the people present are being prepared to receive the influx of new thought and awareness. You are conscious of tingling sensations in various areas of your body. The 7 psychic centers or chakras, the centers of energy, are being fed with prana, the life force. The chakras can be described as whirling wheels which are spaced out between the base of the spine and the crown of the head. They are closely linked with the astral body and can be seen by clairvoyants as vortices of light and color. As they ascend the spine, each one vibrates at a higher frequency until the crown is reached. At this moment, the consciousness of the people is being gently extended, and the dross of the lower self is transmuted. Everyone senses this contact, and as the interaction takes place, conversation is abandoned, and silence descends upon the assembly. This is a precursory glimpse of what is to come for every soul on earth. The contact reaches a peak, then slowly ebbs away, and the attention is suddenly drawn to the avenue of marching stones. The glyph of Aquarius has parted to reveal the open countryside, and now everyone moves to pass through the gateway in the mist and follow the beckoning monoliths over the downs. It is a pleasant walk, with people strolling along in twos and threes under a high-flying moon. A strong breeze is picking up and carries the salty smell of the sea on its bosom. You glance back and discover that the glyph has been blown away, and once more the stone circle stands solidly on the plain. The path begins to climb, and the journey continues in a companionable atmosphere. The long procession resembling a huge serpent winding through the tall stones. Soon the avenue reaches a high plateau, with the stones descending into the valley on the far side of the hill. Everyone stands together to contemplate the view from this vantage point. It is of immense proportions, with streams, rivers, hills and forests illuminated in bright moonlight. In the far distance, the waves of the ocean catch the moonbeams in silvery sparks, as if to draw the radiance into the watery depths. Individuals in the crowd point out landmarks, while others gaze at a sky ablaze with stars, as if searching for familiar constellations. You can see the stone avenue standing out in grey uniformity. It reaches level ground, skirts a wood, and finally terminates at the edge of a circular expanse of water. The lake mirrors the moon's image, and from this distance looks like an enormous looking glass laid down by a giant. The people settle into a quiet reverie and are content to commune with nature, seen here in one of her calmer moods. You begin to wonder what other experiences lie in store on this night of nights. You have not long to wonder. Even now, fingers are pointing to a mass of clouds which have appeared on the horizon. Building gradually into a great, billowing, milk-white carpet, they advance across the sky to hover over the landscape. Through the clouds flash streamers of incandescent light in a myriad of spectrum colors: purple, rose, brilliant blue, verdant green, and in all the variations of shades possible. The splendor of the phenomenon is awesome, and some people kneel in prayer, while others hold out their arms in wonder and amazement. One or two hide their faces, as if unable to comprehend the dazzling sight. They are gently raised and reassured by the more advanced souls in the crowd. Then, miraculously, a divine face emanates from the center of the clouds. The features are those of a woman, her long flowing hair and white shoulders glowing with effulgence. Through her transparent form, stars show, glinting and winking, and above her head are set the sun's planets, a shimmering, whirling crown of splendor. The countenance of the star goddess is one of unearthly beauty as she looks down, a faint smile curling her lips. And as the sea of upturned faces observe the vision, a mystical union occurs between the star goddess and every soul on the plateau, a unique and personal communion to be treasured for all time. At last, the lustrous eyes close for a moment to indicate that the communion is at an end. And now her shapely white arms extend, and in each hand is held a gleaming amphora, one of silver, the other of gold. Slowly their contents are poured out and descend in sparkling showers of light. It is as though the very stars have been transformed into a mass of glittering grains, which fall to earth, a stream of incandescence. One of the showers meets the earth, spreading over hill and valley in a carpet of tiny flashing sparks. The other falls into the lake, turning the water into a shimmering phosphorescence. The scene resembles a fairy tale image of childhood dreams and fantasies. The contents of the amphoras coalesce with the elements and are absorbed by them until all appears as it was before. In the heavens, only the cotton wool clouds remain to remind those present of what has come to pass. Truly, the earth and all that lives upon it has received the seeds of the new age, bestowed by the star goddess herself. The company walks back down the hill, most of them unaware that each person carries a star seed, winking skyward from the crown of their heads. And this, of course, includes you. The seeds of the Aquarian age will be assimilated and spread by each carrier to every race on Earth, eventually emerging as revolutionary thought forms. Soon the stone circle is reached. When everyone is safely within its boundaries, the mist returns. There are fond farewells as the people disappear into it to be reunited with their physical bodies. Alone once more, you lie down, and the astral scene gradually fades. Opening your eyes on everyday surroundings, you immediately remember your very own star seed. But most of all, you remember the star goddess.